Top 20 strangest Disney theories. Number 20. Alice is just tripping in Alice in Wonderland. Alice eats mushrooms, drinks questionable potions, and sees impossible sights throughout the movie. Is Wonderland a real place, or was Alice just tripping in the woods after eating some funky fungus? A lot of people might be like, whoa, that's so dark of Disney to do. Like, well, not really. They've done darker. Today we're going to be looking at the craziest Disney theories on the internet. I am a huge Disney fan, for those who don't know. I have my own theories on how the Disney movies, the Disneyverse all fit together. And I also theorize about Marvel and Star Wars and such. I predicted Spider-Man No Way Home 2 years before the trailer came out. Let's get started. Calhoun killed her husband at the altar in Wreck-It Ralph? Oh, wait, hold on. Calhoun killing her husband? Well, yeah, because the giant bugs that eat everything, they turn into the thing that they've eaten. So she was forced to kill her husband. Not that she was like this. The title of this theory makes it sound like she purposefully murdered him. So Calhoun would have been shooting her own mutated fiance off screen. Yeah, it's pretty scary. It's not really a theory. It's just kind of confirmed by the logic of the movie. Again, like, oh my gosh, would Disney go that dark? Yes, they absolutely would. Mother Gothel is the evil queen from Tangled and Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Okay, so I have thought about this before. Several things seem to support this theory. The queen's name is Grimhild, meaning both start with G. And apples are a recurring motif in both movies. Grimhild and Gothel starting with G. Like, that's not that huge of a connection. I could say like, oh, Moana and Maui, they both start with M's, therefore they're the same person. Possible, but I wouldn't put it as like actual evidence. They're both in Europe, yeah. Apples, I'm pretty sure you could, if you looked hard enough, you could probably find something about an apple in like any movie ever. They both have the same motives of wanting to stay young and fair and beautiful. There's not enough evidence, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was true. Gaston killed Bambi's These are the kind of theories that kind of make me mad, because it's like, how many hunters do you think exist in the world? And how many deer do you think exist in the world? Were they in the same time periods? Were they in the same place geographically? Absolutely no proof. It's less likely than more likely that Gaston was the one sole hunter that shot Bambi's mother. You never see the hunter who kills Bambi's mother, which obviously opens the possibility that it could have been anyone. Oh, yeah, exactly. We also see a doe drinking from a stream at the beginning of Beauty and the Beast and find out Gaston is an accomplished hunter. In Bambi, right before his mother gets shot, they're not drinking from a stream. So your theory is debunked. To make this connection even stronger, it's entirely possible that one of the heads in the tavern belongs to Bambi's mother. How many deer? Andy's mom used to own Jessie in Toy Story 2. I 90% believe this. But what if Emily is actually Andy's mom? Mrs. Davis. Andy can also be seen wearing Jessie's cowgirl hat minus the white ribbon. Could it possibly be a hand-me-down from his mother, who's seen wearing the exact same hat in the flashback? If you guys don't know, like, the actual story behind Woody and, like, Andy's dad and everything like that for, like, Toy Story 1 and 2, it's an actual, like, confirmed backstory that's super in-depth. So because of that, I have close to no doubts that this theory could also be true. Carl was dead the whole time in Up. Come on, can't you just enjoy the movie? It doesn't really matter in, like, the plot of the movie. Pixar itself is really good at using patterns like the stages of depression. They do it a lot, and it's like deeper meaning in their movies, and you can really analyze it and take it apart. And I think that's exactly the case in Up. But it doesn't mean that it's like more than symbolism. Aladdin takes place in a post-apocalyptic future. He mentions that he's been in the lamp for 10,000 years. If the genie was around between the 70s and the 2000s for Schwarzenegger and Nicholson, and was subsequently imprisoned for 10,000 years, that means that Aladdin must take place sometime in the late 11,000s or early 12,000s AD. So here's the thing, is that a lot of people forget when doing Disney theories that some of the Disney movies, there's a handful of Disney movies that are actually stories being told by a third party. Pinocchio, the entire story is Jiminy Cricket reading from a storybook. Like Hercules is a story told by the Muses. Like rip-off Air Jordans called Air Hercs did not exist during the time of Disney's Hercules. It's just the Muses who are known to be exaggerative and comedic relief, who are telling the story in their own way. In the case of Aladdin, who's telling the story there? It's the weird peddler guy. And he's also known to exaggerate the quality of the things that he sells. Look, it won't break. It never breaks. It broke. From like the scenes that we see with him at the very beginning, he could definitely be in the modern era and be telling the story, making the genie use a bunch of references for the purpose of comedic effect. Peter Pan is the angel of death. I mean, in the original story, yes, he's technically like sold his soul to the devil and different things like that. Maybe like Peter Pan was coming to collect Wendy, John, and Michael because they died. The theory is that like the lost boys are actually dead children that Peter Pan has collected the souls of. It just doesn't line up, because how likely is it that Wendy, John, and Michael all died in the same night? Like from what? And they had the choice to go home and continue to grow up and live. So I don't think it was them dying. I don't think the Disney's version of Peter Pan has anything to do with death. Guys, 90% of you that watch my videos aren't subscribed. What are you doing? Go ahead and hit that button thing. Slap the subscribe button, like really hard. Make sure you get it. Only click once though, because if you click twice, then you're not subscribed anymore. Tamatoa is Ursula. This one, I actually really like this theory. I like it a lot. But Ursula has been reincarnated. We're not sure how this explains Tamatoa being a crab instead of a human-octopus hybrid. Oh, I've got that answer. In Polynesian culture, they believe in reincarnation. And there are two animals that are the most common that are most common to be reincarnated into. One is the manta ray, which is what Moana's grandma was reincarnated as. The other is a coconut crab, which is the largest species of crab in the world. Interesting that Tamatoa is a giant crab. So I think that's where I first was like, wait, maybe he is reincarnated from someone. Hercules killed Scar. Nope, this is exactly what I was talking about before. The Muses are telling the story. They're known to exaggerate. Hercules didn't kill Scar because Scar was killed by the hyenas. I'm expecting a Tarzan and a Frozen theory to come up soon. It's like one of my least favorite theories because it's been debunked like twice now, and people still believe it. Now, Hercules is a story told by the Muses, who are beings that can see through time and space, basically. So they know of the story of the Lion King, and they throw in little Easter eggs like that, being exaggerative, just like the peddler from Aladdin. Within the movie, Scar's skin takes the place of the Nemean lion. Is it possible that Hades returns Scar from the dead to fight Hercules? Okay, at least you're not saying that Hercules originally killed Scar. Scar was known for lacking on the brute side of the gene pool, so he wouldn't be that much of a challenge for Hercules. I don't think Hades would have brought back Scar out of all lions. Kristoff is wearing Sven's dead mother. What? This horrifically dark theory suggests that the ice harvesters skinned a reindeer and gave its pelt to Kristoff. Well, I mean, that's normal. Sven, who was orphaned as a calf, smelled his recently deceased mother on Kristoff and began following him around. He simply thinks Kristoff is his mother. Kind of the same thing about Gaston and Bambi. I'm not buying this one because, young Kristoff is wearing a pelt, but also older Kristoff is wearing a pelt. And it's obviously the clothing doesn't grow with him, so he's wearing different reindeer pelts. Maybe the first one was the pelt of the mother. I think it's another one of those things that like really don't matter. The prince is death. I think this is the same exact thing as like Peter Pan and Up. Basically, Snow White died, so the prince comes and takes her and rides off into the sunset. I think it's another one of those things where it's like symbolism, but not like canonical things that happen. Again, it doesn't really matter that much anyway. Jane is a descendant of Belle. This is possible. I don't really have any reason to not believe this, because Tarzan takes place way after Beauty and the Beast takes place. Jane kind of looks like Belle, and she has the tea set that Belle and the Beast have. They both have a taste for wild and untamed men. Oh, Moana is Maui's daughter. Nope. Maybe. if Moana wasn't already Te Fiti. It's a good theory. I appreciate the research that was done into it. This is a more in-depth theory, one worth considering. Ariel's mother was murdered by Captain Hook. Cap. Again, like, how many pirates do you think there are in the ocean? One of the mermaids in Neverland looks an awful like Ariel, complete with signature red hair. Whoa, red hair. They look so similar. If we're to believe the Neverland equals the afterlife theory, then it's obvious that Ariel's mother is there and still being terrorized by her murderer. Sorry. See you later, Peter Pan theories. Chip is Beast's illegitimate son. What if Chip isn't Mrs. Potts' son? After all, Mrs. Potts seems far too old to have a child at that age, and she clearly did not give birth as a teapot. Yes. According to one version of this theory, the prince was seduced by the enchantress, and she gave birth to a son. The story very clearly states that she came in looking for, like, shelter and help, and the prince turned her away. I believe that, like, Chip isn't actually Mrs. Potts' son, but, like, that doesn't mean that he's the Beast's son. Elsa and Rapunzel are sisters, which is false. Again, according to the film theorist, I love you, Matt Pat. Elsa is the long-lost twin sister of Rapunzel. Both are left-handed and have magical powers. Just because they're both left-handed doesn't make them siblings. In fact, if they're fraternal twins, it's actually less likely for them both to be left-handed. Yes, Rapunzel is clearly seen with Flynn at Elsa's crowning. I'm being a little picky here. It has also been said that Tarzan is Anna and Elsa's younger brother, by the way. We can't even keep up anymore. Yeah, that's because that one isn't true. The last one, Boo, is the witch from Brave. It makes sense. I just don't like seeing little Boo becoming creepy old witch. But everything fits and everything makes sense. This theory is seriously convoluted, but hey, it's all in good fun. That's what they want you to think. Well, her name's actually Mary. Once she got a little older, being like, oh my gosh, there's like magic doors and stuff. Anybody would probably go experimenting with these doors and figure out how they work. Anytime you affect space, you also affect time. But you get Mary, who's trying to work out the doors and everything. And then you get the old witch, who lives in the past. So again, time travel exists, so it's possible. And the witch also, like, does her little snappy thing that makes the doors go to different places. And she has the carving of Sully. So there's a lot to dig into Disney movies. My favorite one, which I can't wait to make a video about, is Zootopia. I'm going to start making my own videos to explain my theories to you guys. I don't want to talk about it yet because there's a lot to dig into. And eventually I need to end this video. But in any case, eat your banana pancakes and we'll see you next time. Bye.